I hope you like biscotti as much as I do. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make 3 of my favorite biscotti. Hi, I'm Mara Marie Cristiani, the Aerialist Chef. Let's get started. The first recipe I'm going to show you is my triple citrus. And I love it because it actually has cornmeal, and I want you to use fine ground cornmeal, you can see, and it's usually in the Latin section in the grocery store. And it's going to make a wonderful crunch, and the corn is going to actually make it sweet as well. So the first thing we do is we just add our flour, our cornmeal, and our baking soda and salt. And we're just going to whisk it together to incorporate them well and set it aside while we beat the eggs with the sugar. Let's get started with our sugar and our eggs. And we're going to let this go for about 3 minutes on medium high, and I want it to be nice and light and fluffy when we're done. Start on low first, and then let it crank it up about midway on your blender. Okay. It's thickened. It's lighter in color. You can see that right now. All right, so to that we're going to add our triple citrus. Now I fresh grated this morning. I have lemon, lime, and orange. It has to be fresh. There's just no substitute for that. I'll add vanilla extract or paste, which is what I'm using today, and a little bit of almond extract. You don't have to do it, but it does add a lot of flavor to your cookies. I love almond extract in almost any cookie. And then I'm going to slowly add my flour as I mix on low. I add it slowly so that way the beater has time to pull the flour in and mix it evenly. You don't want to substitute the cornmeal. You actually want to use it because that is really what makes these cookies so special. All right. And stop. I just want to blend it just till it comes together. You can see where it still has a little bit of flour, and I'm going to go ahead and mix the rest in the I'm using chopped pistachios. They're toasted. And today I'm using dried cranberries. I like the contrast of colors between the yellow and the beautiful crimson of the cranberries. All right, I'm actually going to take the beater off, remove the bowl, and I'll show you how to mix it all together. That's how easy. Did you see how long that took? Not very long at all. Beating the sugar and the eggs took the longest. And you don't want to skimp on that because you really do want to take the time to beat those eggs and sugar together. And I fold it all together, and then it's just a matter of shaping them and putting them on the sheet. All 3 recipes are going to follow the same pattern at the end where we shape them, egg wash, raw sugar, okay? Now, the tricky part about biscotti dough is it's very sticky. But I'll show you a little secret that I kind of figured out on my own, is I've divided the dough in half. So I'm going to show you, this is the other half. And it makes a mess, which is kind of fun actually, because you can lick your fingers a lot. But I put water in a bowl. I keep a towel handy, and I wet my hands very generously and just sprinkle off the extra, right? And then I'm going to use my wet hands to shape it. Now they'll give you all kinds of instructions, a 2 by 8, 2 inches wide by 10 inches long or 8 inches long. It just depends how big you want your biscotti. They're going to grow in size when they get in the oven, so keep that in mind. But I'm trying to fit all 3 of them today so that you can see side by side how good they look baking. And you see with my wet hands, and I'll just go back and wet them. If I have to, I'll use the towel to dry them off. I want to flatten the tops, and I want to make sure that they're the even thickness all the way across. So your middle will tend to be wider, so you'll need to go back in and squeeze them together. That's it. Push the ends so they're fairly even, and that's it. And then I'll set that aside while we make the other two, and I'll show you how we finish it. Now we're gonna make my chocolatey chocolate biscotti. I can't wait to show you this one. This requires a food processor, and I'll throw half of the chips. Make sure you read the recipe all the way through. The flour, cocoa powder, see that? We got chips, we got it, and I'm even adding espresso powder. I actually love coffee and chocolate together. And then your baking soda and salt will go in here as well. And I'm going to throw in, today I'm using walnuts. You can use any nuts. That's the thing about biscotti. Everything's interchangeable. The fruit, the nuts, whatever you want to do. All right? And I just want to pulse this lightly. I don't want to pulverize it. I just want to give it to break it up and give it little pieces, okay? So. That'll do it. So you still see pieces of the chocolate and some of the nuts. I don't want them too small, you know, so that you can still see them. And I'm also going to add in more whole chips as well. All right, we're ready to beat the eggs and the sugar just like the other recipe. So, but you notice this time I have the whisk attachment because I want it to come to what we call ribbon. It's a little bit thicker. And that's going to be the support because this is a very heavy cookie. I'll start it on low until I don't see yolks defined. When they start breaking apart, I'll speed it up gradually. And when it's all one mixture, I'm going to put it all the way up. All right, let's take a look at it. There we go. You can see how as it drips off, it forms little ribbons, not just a glop. That's what I want it to be. All right, now I'm going to get rid of the whisk attachment, shift to the paddle attachment. You notice I have that silicone edge. It helps scrape the bowl. I love it. And I'll start it on low because I want to slowly incorporate the mixture that came out of the food processor, which is our flour, salt, baking soda, and remember we chopped up the chips a little bit, as well as the walnuts that I'm doing today. There we go. It's coming together nicely, and I will stop it. It's still not completely mixed in, but I don't want to overwork my batter, so I'm going to stop right there and do the rest by hand. You can see that the mixture is not completely blended. It has, you know, some egg and stuff. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to add the rest of the chips. I want whole chips, I have chopped chips, and I'm using dried cherries today. I absolutely love dried cherries in any biscotti recipe. This batter is thick and heavy, so you're going to need a little muscle to do this one. And I just want you to mix everything together until you feel that your right shoulder is ready to fall off your body, and then you know that the mixture is blended. Okay, we're done. The last cookie in our trilogy of biscotti today will be the traditional almond cookie. It has fresh orange zest, golden raisins, which are wonderful, and my favorite, anise seeds. Now I want to show you a little trick. I wrap my anise seeds in clear plastic, and I roll over them with a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, use the bottom of a heavy pan and just lightly push on them. And I just want to release the essential oils. Now, if you're not familiar with anise seeds, they have a slight licorice type of flavor. I just love it. I'm actually going to use anise extract as well. In the bottom, you'll get all the recipes, all the instructions, so don't try to remember everything. But this is optional, only it really isn't. You've got to use it. I have crushed my anise seeds, and I find that just clipping the bottom will help you release them right into the bowl. I'll add the flour. Today we're using all-purpose flour for all 3 cookies, believe it or not. I'm going to go ahead and put the nuts in there, baking powder and sea salt. I do like sea salt or kosher salt. And I'm going to put just a little bit of cinnamon. I don't want an overwhelming amount of cinnamon. I just want you to get that warm flavor from it. And of course, where there is cinnamon, nutmeg is not far behind. I fresh grate my nutmeg, always, always, no exceptions to the rule. If I couldn't grate nutmeg with my hands, I'd find a way to do it with my feet. All right, I've preheated my oven so that while I'm mixing the last of the 3, it'll be ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and put our room temperature butter into the mixer with both brown sugar and white sugar. And we're going to beat the bejesus out of this for 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. I'm going to turn the mixer to stir, and I'll add our eggs one at a time. As soon as I see the first egg disappear, I add the second one. And I want to follow that up by adding the orange zest. And I have almond, vanilla, and anise extracts. I'll speed it up just a little bit to make sure that it's all together. And then slow it back down and start adding the dry ingredients. Now remember, we have anise seeds in here, we have flour, the leavenings, and our almonds, I'm sorry. I usually use sliced almonds, but I actually had these slivered ones, so I'm using those today, but I do prefer the look of a sliced almond. Obviously the taste is identical, but visually the sliced almonds I think just look better. This is a very thick dough, more so than the other 2. All right, all the biscotti are ready to go, and I've egg washed these. I want to show you how I do it. I take 1 egg, I beat it with about a tablespoon of water, and I just lightly brush the tops and sides and ends, and then I take raw sugar or turbinado sugar, and I lightly sprinkle them. I like that crunchy taste of the caramel of the raw sugar. And they're going to go into a 350-degree oven for about 20, 25, maybe even 30 minutes till they're golden and firm to the touch. Because remember, we're going to bake them again. All right, into the oven we go. The biscotti are out of the oven. I let them cool about 10 minutes. If you move them too early, they'll break on you. But they're still warm, and what I want to do is I'll take a serrated knife and I'm going to cut them in 1-inch diagonals. Now you'll see that some of them will spread more, like the chocolate gets wider. This is the raisin almond, it kind of stays compact, and this is your cornmeal. Our biscotti are out of the oven. I'll show you how I like to serve them. Our biscotti are out of the oven. Aren't they lovely? And they go perfectly with espresso or Vin Santo, whichever you would like. Please subscribe to my channel and like it. Let me know what you think. Leave the comments, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. The triple citrus. Now, not only are they, so let's try it out. Oh, I love that. The bottom will help you release them right into the bowl. It's the secret weapon. Wait. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much. Make sure you like it and ring the bell down there. Let me know. That doesn't sound right. You can't say that.